The Pink Pulpits Podcast, the gospel according to her. The Pink Pulpits Podcast explores the living, learning, and leading of women in the 21st century. How does the modern woman handle the world the gospel way? This podcast is for women in ministry, women surrounded by ministry, and so many more. Join us weekly on Saturdays at 6 p.m. for the Pink Pulpits Podcast, the gospel according to her.
Hey, faith friends. This is Lady Nicole Green, and welcome to another powerful episode of the Pink Pulpit Podcast. This week's episode is for every woman that's navigating change. Change that you don't like, change you didn't pray for, a season that you didn't want, and you're sitting saying, I'm in transition. This is crazy. I'm your girl. I'm your host, your faith coach, and today we're going all the way there. So grab your coffee, your tea, your snack, your favorite blanket, or if you're in the car, I want you to lean in, turn the volume all the way up, because this one today is personal, it's real, and I told you all earlier on one of my Facebook lives that we were going to talk about it today. So let's talk about it. So my little brother's getting married. Yep, my little baby brother, Bruce, is getting married. And if I'm honest, when I first found out, I really wasn't okay. I had questions, concerns, side-eyed. I had real opinions about the matter. You know how we get, right? Protective, prayerful, picky, plain, just feeling some kind of way. But then God tapped me on the shoulder and said, Nick, you don't have to like the change, but you do have to grow with it. You got to grow. And I don't know if that just resonates with someone watching right now, but that's the word for today. How to handle change you didn't choose. Grow in a way that you didn't plan for, and people you didn't expect. And do it with faith, love, and maturity. Can we talk today for a moment? This is for the woman navigating those new roles, new relationships, or the next level things that you prayed for, but you didn't picture it happening like this. Am I talking to anybody today? Let's go in. Because I was sitting in the space of feeling like this is a season that I just had not planned for. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says there is a season, a time appointed for everything, and a time for every delight, an event, or purpose under heaven. And can I tell you, faith friends, not all of those seasons will come wrapped up in your preference. So the one thing that I had to decide was that it was okay for me to feel it, to really feel what I was feeling, but don't feed it. Ephesians 4:26 says it this way, be angry and yet do not sin. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to be overprotective. It's okay to think maybe this isn't going according to your plan. But God gave them to you, the feelings. But feelings aren't facts. And faith doesn't ask you to deny your feelings. It asks you to bring them into alignment with God's plan. So I had to sit in the discomfort of, I don't like this, but I couldn't set up camp there. And who is this podcast for? You've set up camp in your feelings. You may not like your boss. You may not like your in-laws. You may not like the new norm. You don't like the move, the ministry shift, the marriage dynamic. But that doesn't mean it's not God ordained. I just really said something. So you got to make a decision that the feelings are not getting ready to overtake you, but you're going to maybe write it down if you're a journaler, or you're going to pray about it. But don't speak death over it. You can feel it without feeding it. Does that make sense? Don't feed into, I don't like this. Don't feed into it. Feel it. But then start to make a way of how you're going to navigate your feelings and grow. The next thing that I feel like God was telling me I needed to do was process it through a God lens. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Most resistance to change is rooted in limited perspective. Can you just lay into that for a second? We don't see what God sees, but faith says, Lord, I'll follow your path anyway, even if I can't preview the destination. You got to make a decision that his viewpoint is greater than yours. His viewpoint is bigger than yours. And sometimes we don't like what we see because we're viewing it through old wounds or past disappointments or control issues, everybody. But kingdom women learn how to look again. And in this moment, I want you to look again before you judge it. Look again before you decide it's not God. Look again before you decide this is not going to work. Pray, pause, and then ask God, what are you trying to show me through this? What are you trying to get me to grow to in this? And grow, grow, grow is what I want to tell you. Because choose love even if you don't choose the change. God is love. And we have to lean into 1 Corinthians 3, 4, and 5. Love is patient. Love is kind. It's not crude. It's not self-seeking. I know. Take a deep breath, right? This is where the grown woman, the grown you, the grown faith chick kicks in. You don't have to like it to love through it. You don't have to like it to really show love and fully immerse yourself in it. In my brother's situation, I had to mature. I had to decide, will I love like Christ or will I hold on to my comfort zone? Because, you can think, this may not be the greatest place for him, or you may be thinking this may not be the space. And because this applies to so many areas. Your coworker gets the promotion you wanted. Your child makes a life choice that you just don't. Can I just talk to parents for a second? Because you're sitting there and you're saying, my child has decided not to go to college. My child has decided to date somebody that I believe is so wrong for them. And if I can really press it and tell you, most people know it, so I'm not going to tell it. Yeah, because I stopped a minute to say if I was really going to say it. But I'm going to say it. I was engaged 4 times before I was married. I know, stop the presses. The girl was engaged, not married, people. Don't put that out there in these streets. I was engaged 4 times before I got married. And my last engagement, my mother, I believe, had learned through the different relationships not to really say anything to me. So the last engagement was over, and I told my mom, I'm like, I just really feel like God is not really telling me to do that. And she said, I didn't like him anyway. I said, why'd you say something? And she was like, you liked him, and I was just praying through it. You got to understand that even for you, those of you that are parents saying, my child is going down the wrong way, the Bible says the seed of the righteous is delivered. And you got to stand in knowing I'm the righteous. They're my seed. And they're going to walk in the deliverance because I've trained them up in the way they should go. So when they get old, they won't depart. It's that space in between that jacks us up a little bit. You got to understand that, some of us are too controlling. So even if your ministry is not going in the direction you didn't vote for, your love is the mature response, even when it feels like a loss. Even if it feels like it is going off the rails, you got to be honest with God, be gracious with people. And growth means you can disagree and still choose love. That right there will change everything for you. Still choose love and grow, grow, grow. And then I believe the way that you advance is to have a kingdom resolve. Mark 9:23 said, and Jesus said it this way, if you can believe, all things are possible to them that believe. You got to go beyond just accepting it. Because a lot of us just go along to get along. You're accepting it. But I want you to move into advancing with it. Faith is forward. I say it to you all the time. It presses towards, it expands, it grows. Even when it's not your idea, your timeline, or your comfort level. Kingdom women move with God. Don't just tolerate the season. Can I talk to you right now? Stop tolerating the season. Stop just getting into it and just doing it. But I want you to thrive in the season. Advance with understanding, advance with a strategy, and advance with a faith spirit. Ask God, how do I show up in this season? How do I show up, the grown woman, the grown faith woman? And what does growth look like for you here? You're standing here. What does your faith look like standing here? And then Isaiah 43:18-19 says, forget the former things. You got to know God's doing a new thing. And sometimes a new thing doesn't feel good. And sometimes because see, we think, can I just stop right there? We hear the new thing. We're like, oh, this new thing is going to be off the chain. It's going to be off the chitty. It's going to be whoop, whoop, whoop. And we got to recognize sometimes the change is the change. And it's new. And it's something you never had before, nothing you've seen before. And it may be hard for you to wrap your mind around it. And you've got to wrap your mind around it and thrive in it. Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And knowing Philippians 1:6, he that began a good work will complete it. You got to know that God will do this thing because you're going to do 2 Corinthians 5:7. Walk by faith and not by sight. What I'm telling you today is, can I be real? I don't think this episode will be for anyone but me. But God said, Nick, this is bigger than your brother's wedding. This is bigger than your feelings. This is bigger than how you feel. Because even every listener today is either being forced to change, resisting a change, or about to face one. And the test is, can you grow with God? Even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels unfair, even when it's not according to your plan. That's the kind of faith that fights fair. It forgives fast, and it flourishes forward. This is the opportunity where you don't let your feelings stop your faith. You are too pretty to be petty. Can you put that in the chat? I need you to get that in this moment. You are too pretty to be petty. You're too called to be comfortable, and you're too anointed to stay angry. That's what I had to say to myself. Girl, you're too pretty for petty. And you are too anointed to stay angry. So now I need for you to grow. Can we in this moment really say that? Grow. That was a whole word, wasn't it? Grow. And I need for you to really get in the bottom of your mind. It's time to grow. It's time to be bigger. So who am I talking to? That this podcast is speaking directly to you. This podcast is telling you that I need to grow. That whatever that situation is, I need to grow. I need to put my big girl pants on and not just get along, but grow. Advance in it. Strategize in it. Be bigger in it. Show up. The faith chick. The woman that sees beyond. And ask God to show you what you cannot see. You know, I said earlier that this was bigger than my brother's wedding. And I did not recognize that this whole word grow was not just about this, but I believe that God is calling me to grow in so many other areas. And for a lot of us that we feel like we've been growing everywhere, especially in this season, right? You're like, girl, I grew through the pandemic. I grew through the post-pandemic. I've grown through what's happening in the White House. I've grown through what's happening in my city street. I feel like I am growing. Why am I being asked to grow some more? Because God is looking for fruit. He's looking for the return. He's looking to get you to where he's called you, where you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to go. It's about growing. Every day we should be growing. And a lot of us get stuck in spaces. We get stuck in places where we are determined we don't want to grow no more. Who am I talking to today on this podcast? You saying, girl, I don't want to grow not another step. I don't want to grow another state. I don't want to. The girl has grown enough. But can I tell you something? Grow, grow, grow. Grow again. Grow wider, grow stronger, grow bigger, grow. Grow in the uncomfortable. Grow in, the girl had to grow. I went to visit and to meet him, hit the family of the young lady that my brother's marrying. And, in that growing moment, God really was there. I was able to see what God was saying. I was able to be in that moment and recognize, you know what? This is a good thing. And whatever my reservations were, and because I had a lot of reservations about a whole lot of things that I ain't going to talk about on this podcast. But when I tell you, and even in the growing, because I want to talk to somebody, you still may have some reservations, and that's okay. Remember, you can feel it, just don't feed it. And recognize that I'm being called to grow. I pray that this podcast has really blessed you. And I want you to really text your entire friend circle. I want you to text all of them and say, are we growing? Is there a place that you're supposed to be growing? Is there a place that you haven't grown? Is there a place? And then I want you to screenshot this episode and post it. Can y'all post it on the IG with the hashtag Pink Pulpit Podcast Grow? And tag your girl. Because I really do believe this message is a message for right now. And so many of us are stuck and stagnant because we will not grow. We've allowed a space to tell us it's not God, or it doesn't feel comfortable, or I don't feel it. So, man, especially us, y'all know who I'm talking about, us. Like, I don't feel that. I don't see that. This is because it's the gospel according to her, right? You say it's the gospel according to me. But this is the space and the platform where you're to grow, to glow, and go forward in faith, even when change comes uninvited. I know. He said it rolled up, and I didn't send for it. I didn't send it an invitation. I didn't ask for it. So why is this season? So take it from me. I took the step of going and meeting so that the first time I met them would not be at the wedding, because my brother has made it perfectly clear. He is getting married. And I had to honestly, respect him for it. Because, baby, he honored what I had to say. He wanted my approval. But he got to a space where he's like, This is what I want to do, with your approval or without it. And that's how the enemy will do. He will try to get in a space or in a crevice of spaces that will cause division and divide and cause friction. And we got to stop. Who am I talking to that because you won't grow, friction has happened? Who am I talking to that because you won't grow, that there's been a divide? You don't have to like the season to grow in it, but just grow anyway. Grow anyway. Mature. Grow up. Grow into it. Advance. It's time for you to advance. It's time for you to grow, grow, grow. I need for you to understand it's time for you to grow. And if you're sitting saying, I'm going to kick and scream all the way, it's okay for you to feel that. Don't feed it. Stop kicking. Stop screaming. Stop throwing a tantrum and decide today, I'm going to grow. Your girl is going to grow. And man, I came back grown. I know. You're saying to me, ooh, girl, nobody want to grow? Yeah, you do. It's that flesh. But your spirit man is saying, we want to grow. We want to get to it. We want the full to the overflows. We want it. So let your spirit guide. Let your spirit lead. And you call that flesh under subjection. You tell that flesh, you don't get to run me. Get out the way, flesh. My spirit said it's time to grow. Until next time, keep the faith, fight the feelings, and follow God forward. And do me a favor. From now until the end of time, grow, grow, grow. I'm the Faith Chick, and I can't wait for our conversation next week. Remember, life is a gift. Make the best of yours.